Good morning. Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Firstly, I'd like to apologize that we started late, but it is my greatest honor and privilege to welcome you all to this important occasion. The TV Space Data Sharing Project that is hosted by the Vaal University of Technology. Today marks a significant milestone in our collective journey towards bridging the digital divide and creating inclusive access to connectivity to our communities. We are especially honored by the presence of our esteemed guests, stakeholders, educators, including representatives from Suncrest High School. Before we proceed, I kindly request that we all rise for the national anthem, which will be rendered by the VUT choir. Thank you, Re a leboga. It is now my pleasure to invite Dr. Grace Kanakana Katumba to officially open this event and welcome our guests.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Hey, you are silent. Are we in the funeral? Good morning. Yeah, that's better. Program Director, thank you for the opportunity, Ms. Moloko. Allow me to start with recognizing my Vice Chancellor and Principal, Prof. Glovu, our distinguished guests that are joining us this morning. Are here, we've got representatives from Suncrest Primary School, the principals of Suncrest Primary School. Welcome. High school, sorry, Suncrest High School. Members of the Executive Management Committee. I see some colleagues which are here, the acting register, the executive deans, and executive director. I'd like to recognize you. All other esteemed guests which are here this morning that are perhaps I didn't get the opportunity to meet them. Morning, and you are recognized. And I will say all protocol observed. It is really a great pride and deep sense of purpose for me to welcome you this morning to the Vaal University of Technology. Allow me to extend special welcome, as I've already said, to our partners. We have partners from Huawei, TP-Link, and Omanda, which were very instrumental in ensuring that this project it can be launched here this morning. Allow me to also extend a special word of welcome to the principal of Suncrest High School. And we also had another high school which didn't join us this morning, but I hope that they are on their way. And we welcome them in their absence. This intervention, it really marks an exciting moment, I think, in the era of us as Vaal University of Technology and our commitment to engage with the communities around the Greater Vaal. This project, which is called the White TV, TV White Space to be correct. It is aimed to actually extend access to those that otherwise wouldn't be able to have access to digital space. As we are all aware that technology nowadays, it is not a luxury. It is actually the third basic needs in terms of Maslow's needs of a hierarchy of needs. Without technology, we cannot actually do a lot of things that otherwise 10 years ago we were able to do. This opportunity, I think, presents our greater community of Vaal to have access to textbooks, access to internet, access to other digital spaces that can actually promote or enable them to develop themselves as they move forward. So, as we reflect in this moment, we must realize that this initiative is not only about infrastructure, however, it is really about the people. It's about the learners that seek additional knowledge. It's about the teachers that seek to reach, to make sure that their message reach further. And it's about the communities that are actually, coming together and actually want to build themselves or improve themselves. So as a university, one of our responsibilities is community engagement. And I think this project enables us to be able to really do that, to provide communities with opportunity to grow and develop. In conclusion, I would like to really welcome all of you to this gathering. And I know that we are going to have a great time of engaging with each other, networking, understanding what this opportunity presents to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Katumba, for setting the tone for today's engagement. According to the program, I need to give an overview of this project. And I just realized as I sat down that I didn't properly introduce myself. Kenama Tsidiso Moloko. I am the director of Terrestrial Link, the company that is installing the TV White space here at VUT. Today, I stand before you with great pride as we officially launch the TV White Space Data Sharing Project in partnership with Vaal University of Technology. This initiative is not just about technology, it is about transformation. At Terrestrial Link, our mission is clear: to deliver reliable and cost-effective broadband solutions that empower communities. We believe that access to the internet is no longer a luxury, but a fundamental tool for education, economic participation, and social development. Yet, the reality we face is that millions of South Africans, in particular in underserved communities, still do not have access to affordable internet. High data costs and limited infrastructure continue to exclude many from the digital world. This is where TV White Space technology becomes a game changer. By using unused broadcasting spectrum, TV White Space allows us to deliver high-speed, low-cost internet over long distances, making it ideal for areas where traditional infrastructure is limited or too expensive to deploy. Through this project, we are introducing a last mile connectivity solution using point to multi-point networks supported by sustainable solar-powered infrastructure. This ensures that connectivity is not only accessible, but also reliable and scalable. Our immediate focus is here in the Sedibeng district. Working together with the Vaal University of Technology and key stakeholders, we are rolling out a model that will enable internet access to schools across the district, starting with Suncrest High School. The goal is simple yet powerful: to share connectivity, to ensure that every learner and every educator has access to digital tools that they need to succeed. Imagine a classroom where learners can access online resources in real time. Imagine educators empowered with digital teaching tools. Imagine schools becoming hubs of innovation, research, and opportunity. That is the future we are building. This project is also designed to be scalable. What we are launching today in Sedibeng is a blueprint, one that can be expanded to other districts, provinces, and ultimately across South Africa. It is about creating a connected ecosystem that supports not only education, but also broader community development through digital inclusion. But most importantly, this initiative is about partnership. It is about government, academia, private sector, and communities coming together with a shared vision to bridge the digital divide and create equal opportunities for all. In closing, today is not just the launch of a project. It is the beginning of a movement towards connectivity, a movement towards inclusion, a movement towards a better, more empowered future of our communities. Ke a leboga. Thank you. And I would also like the choir to render us with their beautiful voices once again. Thank you. I've got a dilemma in that the conductor is, yeah, I would really like for you to stay on. Maybe the students can, the choristers sit down, patch themselves, I'm not sure where. Please, your voices are quite beautiful. We are enjoying the music. No? Askies. Yeah, there's more seats. Thank you so much. Those voices are quite beautiful. Thank you. Bagaetsho, please join me in welcoming Ntate Sibusiso Dladla, the chairperson of the school governing body at Suncrest High School, to deliver a message of support.
Good morning. You know, when we talk of education and connectivity, Prof, maybe you were there, we started by slate. You know, these people, they want to know the slate. Today, here we are. we never knew that we will come to this far. We thought that the book was the best, but here we are. And you know, today data is something that we buy. But I think in the next year or two, it will be like an oxygen. Without the data, life will seem as if it's standing still. Now, to our distinguished guest, representative of the university, I also saw now that we also have Waiwe. You know, when Waiwe came into South Africa, we didn't know how to pronounce it. Up until somebody said to me, just say why and where, and combine it. Why, where. Yeah, because we were saying like, why, where now, why, and all those things. You know, we are Africans, we change things. And yeah, the why, where reps, the TP-Link, local leaders, if they are here, educators that we are with, and the members of the community, I just want to say good morning. Today we gather not just to acknowledge a generous act, but to celebrate a meaningful investment in the future. The installation of internet access at Suncrest High School is more than a technical upgrade. It is a powerful step toward transformation, empowerment, and opportunity. You know, the access of internet, you cannot actually equate it or give it a value. It is lifelong. It is something that you cannot compare. We understand the people I'm born in, I'm a 1K. I think that we also have the 0Ks, you know, I'm not really sure. The 0Ks might think it's something that disturbs because the children, when they wash dishes, the phone is here. When they study, the phone is here. Their lives evolve around technology. And unfortunately, the 0Ks and the 1Ks, we hate it. We hate it because it stops this communal, this household. That is why we can no longer live in a two-roomed house. We need about eight-bedroom houses because each and every child wants his own space so that can have his own device. And unfortunately, as the 1Ks, there is nothing that we can do. We just need to embrace. We cannot fight it. It's bigger than us. And it's here. It's not going to go. It's going to be better. And that's how the life we're going to live. And we live in a world where access to information is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. Today we know what is happening in Israel and in Iran. It's not because we watch TV. TV gives you information that is biased, the real thing at the real time, when things happen. We never knew that one day to speak with somebody in China, it will be as if you are speaking with somebody in Zone 7. We never knew. In the olden days, it used to delay, but today it's like here. And it is because of such things that we have received. Now, internet opened doors to global classroom. It allows them, the learners, to explore knowledge beyond the textbook. We engage with ideas from around the world and to develop the digital skills that is essential for success in today's society. For our educators, it provides tools to enrich teaching, inspire creativity, and deliver lessons in ways that are more engaging and impactful. In the olden days, when we're not doing grade 12, we're doing standard 10. We used to have, it was a luxury to have what you call a scientific calculator. It were not all the kids who had a scientific calculator, especially with the great names. The calculators that we used to have was Casio. But today, with this classroom technology, it's no longer in the hand, but it's in the board. And the children can actually see that, with these smart boards, which is technology, that the children, when they study about a heart, it is not something that they must only read in black and white, but it's something that can be live on a screen. And this connectivity will actually help our educators great deal. And it delivers lessons in ways that are more engaging and impactful. This initiative by the university and partners demonstrate a deep understanding that education must evolve. It shows commitment not only to academic excellence, but also to bridging the digital divide that many of our communities still face. By bringing connectivity to Suncrest High School, you have brought a possibility. You have brought the hope. To the learners, this is just something that they've been dreaming for, and it has come. And we believe that it's something that will open their doors. Today we've got AIs. I was talking with a principal this morning to tell her that in the next year or two, people who are in printing company or in printing business, they must embrace themselves for a change. They must not be like Nokia, who never thought that buttons in the phone is the key thing. Today, Nokia is dead because they don't want to evolve. And I think textbooks very soon will be history. And if ever they have to be history, we need people like TP-Link who will actually support and change this thing. So don't look at just a textbook as something of history. Look at textbook to say, I'm no longer going to buy. I need to buy a data. That means that 5 rand, 10 rand data, this connectivity, it goes just beyond the textbook. It also empowers you financially because the child can just download and he's got the whole textbook in a minute. Instead of driving to Van Skyke, and Van Skyke must order, you must wait, and the classroom, the work is still going on. After 2 weeks, the textbook is delivered, and you don't even know where to start because you are late. But this connectivity is going to be something that will be a game changer. That you want a textbook now, you get it now, you read it now. If ever you want any information, the information is at hand. And that access to such technology, it cannot be given a value. It is more than anything that one can think of. Yes, we are YK, we are people, we look at the bottom line. But connectivity has no bottom line. It has everything. I never knew that one person in one computer can open 4 screens and do everything at the same time. And because of connectivity, that is possible. Just think the children, when they've got such a thing, that they can talk with their parents, they can do their schoolwork, they can also be taught at the same time. it's something that some of us never thought that it will ever happen. And it is here. So we are so grateful about this big thing. The world is now more accessible to you, and we need to take full advantage as the school. And to the educators, may these tools support your passion and dedication, continue shaping young minds, now with even greater resources at fingerprint. And to the university, we say thank you. Your support is not just seen, it will be felt. It will echo in every lesson taught, every assignment completed, and every dream that is nurtured within the walls of Suncrest. May this partnership continue to grow, and may it serve as an example of what can be achieved with institutions and communities come together for a common purpose. And on behalf of Suncrest and all the educators, the SMT and the SGB, we say thank you. And we cannot thank you enough. We do have an internet, but I think this is a game changer. You know, the internet that we pay for is so limited. And actually, to deprive a child to such an access, it's like criminal. I think maybe there are people who are sitting in the parliament, in one of the back rooms in parliament, they are still maybe drafting to say if ever there is no data in your house, you must be arrested. Because that will be the source of communication. And we just need to embrace this thing. And all those that are just like me, we are not bold because we want to be bold. We are bold because of the gray hair. Let's embrace this. This is a game changer. And we just want to say thank you so much. May God bless you. May you continue to support. And thank you to VUT and to you, Prof, to say the gate of Val University is only there for security, just for security. But the university is now accessible to us, because if the university exists and does not support the local community, then it becomes useless. But it's a storage of information. If ever you've got a library and you cannot read those books, that library is useless. Now, if ever you've got places like VUT, if ever the community cannot benefit out of the university, it's as if we don't have it, then it becomes useless. But thank you so much for reaching out to us and to actually support us. And we believe that very soon, in your admission, we'll first start at Suncrest to say all the children of Suncrest must have an access. They don't have to go through all these barriers to access admission at VUT, because we are only street away. Actually, we're not even a street away. We are fence away. We are just fence away. Now, there is no need that our children, they drive here every day. But when after passing matric, then they have to go to Natal. Why? They can use the very same road and go and become better person. May God bless you, and thank you so much.
Yeah. As I was writing this speech, I also had to search izithakazelo zakwaDladla, and it says Ngabadeli, Gadlela, Dwala, Siyabonga, Realeboha, for those inspiring and encouraging words. Also, I have to say, when we visited Suncrest to understand what exactly were their challenges, we indeed found that they do have internet, but their internet is mainly focused at the office and I think the computer lab. Throughout the yard or the campus of the school, they do not have access to internet. And we also visited a school called Lekuashandu Koshabville. We found that the two schools are quite different, but the difference is that at Lekuashandu, because it's in the township, and I think there's also grades, the way they grade the schools, Lekuashandu has access to all these other lovely technological tools that Suncrest does not have. but also they are limited one way or the other. The internet that they are paying for is not as effective as they would like it to be. So we were very, very happy to come up to have this project, because then it means from corner to corner of the campus, everybody will be able to have internet access. There will be no excuse to say there is no internet access. Thank you very much. Here, right now, I was gonna call the choir, but because of time, I would like us to call Professor Kehlan Ndlovu, the Vice Chancellor of VUT, for the keynote address.
Program Director, Ms. Morocco, distinguished guests, our industry partners in this terrestrial link, Broadband Infraco, Indigo Broadband, ICASA for allowing us to have the license to be able to do this. And as you said, I always say, Mr. Zaza, it's who are we? Who are we? That's how I used to pronounce it, because I didn't know how to, but, you know. So as you said, we all have our own way of pronouncing who are. So for me, it's just who are. So who are we? You know, so who are we? So to say. But anyway, it's also interesting that one of our universities in South Africa, UNISA Enterprise, also a partner with us in this. The one partner that most of you are not aware of is actually the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research. They are the custodians of the TV-wide spaces. And without them, we wouldn't be able to have access to be able to use this technology for us to benefit our neighboring schools. Of course, members of the governing board, accompanied by the chairperson, Mr. Dladla, of Suncrest High School. The principal is going to be joining us later. Educators and learners. Our deputy vice chancellors, Masalela is here now, and also Dr. Ganagana. Our executive deans, executive directors, members of the university community, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, still morning. Good morning. A very good morning to all of you. I must say this is probably like 2 years in the making, so to say, and it's important that it coincides with our 60th anniversary. And it's one of those good days in one's life. So today is not just a launch, ladies and gentlemen, it's more of a statement. We want to make a statement as Vaal University of Technology. A statement that innovation, when guided by purpose, can travel beyond laboratories and the lecture rooms and find its way into the lives of people who need it the most. The Vaal University of Technology stands here today not only as a place of learning, but as a place of connection. A place where knowledge does not remain confined, but moves outward into communities, into schools, into homes, and into the future itself. The TV-wide Spaces Proof of Concept project represents a bold step in that direction. It is a pioneering initiative, one of the first of its kind within the university sector, that demonstrates how unused spectrum can be transformed into opportunity, into access, and also into dignity. For far too long, the digital divide has drawn invincible lines across society. Lines that separate those who can access knowledge from those who cannot. Lines that determine who participates in the digital economy, and who is left behind. Yet the reality before us is stark. Millions of households remain without reliable internet access, while the cost of connectivity continues to place it beyond the reach of many. Today, we choose to challenge that reality. Through this initiative, the university extends its own connectivity beyond its physical boundaries, reaching neighboring schools and communities. In doing so, we are not simply sharing bandwidth, we are sharing possibilities. We are saying to every learner in these connected schools that your potential is not limited by geography, that your classroom does not end where the school gate stands, that the world of knowledge, innovation, and opportunity is now within your reach. This is what it means to be an anchor institution, an institution that does not exist in isolation, but in a relationship, an institution that understands that its true measure lies not only in academic output, but in social impact. VUT, through this project, positioned itself at the intersection of technology, education, and community development. This is not accidental. It is deliberate. It is aligned with our strategic vision of digital transformation, applied innovation, and meaningful societal contribution. But beyond strategy, there is something more profound at play here. There is a young learner in a township not far from here who will access online resources for the first time. There is a teacher who will enrich their lessons with digital content. There is a community that will begin to participate more fully in an increasingly connected world. That is the true impact of this project. And it does not end there. The proof of concept is exactly that, a beginning, a demonstration of what is possible when partnerships are forged, when innovation is embraced, and when institutions lead with intention. The vision is clear: to expand connectivity across the Citybeng region, to reach more schools, more communities, more lives impacted, to build a future where access to the internet is not a privilege, but a standard. Allow me to extend my sincere appreciation in our partners whose expertise and commitment have made this initiative very possible. Together, we are proving that collaboration is an engine of progress. These are, as I said, Terrestrial Link, Broadband Infraco, Indigo, Broadband, ICASA, TP-Link, UNISA Enterprise, Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, Huawei. To the participating schools, we are not beneficiaries, we are partners in this journey. We are co-creators of a new reality where education is empowered by technology. And to our students, academics, and staff, let this moment remind us of who we are. We are builders. We are innovators. We are a university that does not wait for the future, but actively shapes it. As we continue on the road to 60, this initiative stands as a powerful symbol of our evolving identity, an institution rooted in its community, yet reaching confidently into the future. Let this not be remembered as a day we launched a project. Let it be remembered as a day we extended opportunity, the day we narrowed the digital divide, the day we affirmed that technology, when placed in the service of humanity, becomes a force of transformation. I thank you.
Gatsheni, Boya Benyati, Siyabonga. Thank you for the insightful and visionary address. Choir, I do not have any other choice, but please. Yes, may we have. It's not me this time around. Conductor said they must just stand here. Thank you. As we approach the conclusion of our program, now I invite Ndate David Ramasodi, the Executive Director of Information Technology Services, to give the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone here. You know, I came here, prepared a speech, and to my surprise, Prof did the thinking. And I was supposed to do a vote of thanks. So, but let me change it a little bit, just to give a bit of history. Prof mentioned that this project started a long time ago, almost 2 years ago, and we had to go through a lot of processes to get this thing off the ground. So some of the people that worked behind the scene, I would like them to stand so that we recognize them. We had our lawyer this side. Because I'm on stage, I forget your name now. Melissa. And we had Ndate Muloko. Because I see the two Mulokos. Ndate Muloko is the Chief Technology Officer for Terrestrial Link. He is the man who's been calling us all the time. I don't know where he gets airtime. He'll always do a lot of follow-ups. And I had a team that was my team. I think they just went out for some emergency. And we had our executive here with us. Thank you, the VC, for blessing this occasion. And we are always going to make sure that you don't lose. As you came in, you said one thing in your first speech. Why do we advertise and go all over the country looking for students? Where are the students here at Sharpeville? It echoes the sentiments that I was talking about. That why are we not prioritizing the students in the Val? Because it gets cheaper. Because you grew up in the Val, you study in the Val, it makes sense, isn't it? But that, it didn't go without to deaf ears. Now we're changing the game like Local City said earlier on that this is a game changer. And we are digitizing the nation now. We cannot talk digitization without connectivity. So we have to thank our partners. Unfortunately, the choir is still here, but not so unfortunate. We've got Huawei, who will be assisting us making a donation in one of the schools, and this is a good initiative. I would like to recognize the two partners from Huawei. Can you just... I'll also like to recognize some of you. I don't know you by faces, but I know that there's a TP-Link, TP-Link here with us. They're not here with us. We just finished installing at Sandcrest the technology for TP-Link. They're coming up with something new that I think as a university we may even look at adopting, whereby they do wireless without cabling. So they do a mesh. I'm a technologist, people, bear with me. I love this field, it's my religion. So they use state-of-the-art technology, and now we know that Huawei may not want to be beaten by TP-Link. So they're going to do something very good for us. So these are the partners we're using. Thank you so much. Thank you, the executive, DVC Resource, my boss. You can wave the hand so that people know. He's a very, he likes attention to details. But that's him. Also, Osmarin from the Office of the VC for coordinating, and also DVC teaching and learning, Prof. Kanakana. Your document is going to happen. You mentioned digitization in learning. We are moving away from libraries now. This project is not connecting students to VUT. It's connecting students to knowledge. VUT is just a vehicle. So don't see us as, don't glorify us that much. Let's glorify the students that are going to benefit out of this. We know that majority of our students, they struggle with connectivity. And the connectivity is a barrier. It's a digital divide that African countries are struggling with. You cannot talk AI without connectivity. You cannot talk fourth industrial revolution without connectivity, let alone digitization. So all these things that we're talking about, we are now leading into the future. There's nothing that is better than an AI and when it comes to a lecture. I mean a tutor. A tutor could know about 4 or 5 books, let's say for example, chemistry. But AI is access to all. And this is what we're bringing to the townships. We're no longer, this is something bigger than what we're doing right now. So at least now I can see my colleagues. And Dr. Dumsan, he was working until 11 o'clock yesterday. Sorry for that, but thanks for making it here. Maybe you can stand up and Oscar so that they can see you. And there's quite a number of teams from Terrestrial Link that worked, I think the whole evening, and I saw them this morning on the tower. The tower now, we've got a base station, it's installed. We're going to have 3 base stations. Usually a base station, let me be technical so that you understand. We're talking this TVWS space, but at times we just say, without knowing what we're dealing with here. This is something big. Let me put it this way. You know, when we grew up in the 80s, I was one of those class of 80s, 70s. I'm not giving my age away. Whenever we had someone in the township who had a telephone system, it was a privilege to have a telephone system. But it was owned by the community, not yours. Every time, no matter how many streets away from you, if a call says, I want to talk to Makumalo, there's something urgent, the child of that house has to go to Makumalo's house, run. They say, Makumalo, there's a call for you. And the community understood that that telephone system is not yours. That is why there was no vandalism, because it was nationalized. And Makumalo will come, and we, the young ones, will be looking at Makuma at the time. She came not prepared, but she came. All of a sudden, she starts crying. And we're kids, we don't know what to do, because the telephone had to relay messages. Before then, there was a telegraph. Is it telegram? Telegram. It had 3 weights. It's gone. That's it. Now things have changed. Now. We've got WhatsApp. And our students, they have better phones than us, some of us. We are dealing with something very big here. The township, the city Bay is going to see something that they never thought of. And this is the first phase. One of the questions that the prof asked was that, what about private residences? We're going to do private residences as a next phase, because they've got big money. You know, you're going to go to Bedworth Park. You see houses being built there. You consider that a lot of turkeys have money. Now we've got a bandwidth. The university has a bandwidth. To give you an idea, on a national bandwidth of about 10 gig, the whole entire VUT with 22,000 students, we're using 2 of that 10 gig. 2. We are not like VEDS. VEDS also has a 10 gig, they use about 6 gig because they've got a different type of students. So it's very selfish, going back to the telephone story, to be sitting with 10 gig unused and have poor environment, schools around the area that don't have access to that. Bear with me, this is vote of thanks. I'm still doing my vote. We do it in style, you know, we are in university. Yeah, we don't follow the syllabus all the time. At times you have to be creative and so on. So one professor was asked in one of the meetings that the assignment was this theology. They were discussing the Bible. They say the student must write about Luke, Apostle Luke. I can see some heads here saying, some they don't know whom I'm talking about, I understand that. But there's one student who wrote about Matthew. So brilliant about Matthew. Then the professor had a problem and said, look, this is out of scope. As a student, you don't decide a question or what type of question you should be asked. You must comply to what's being on the question paper. They said, write about Luke, you wrote about Matthew. But the way you wrote, it's so excellent that even the people who wrote about Luke, you didn't even want to read about it. We're changing the dynamics here. We're bringing the library to the school, to people. So this is a game changer. We know that VUT students, they're adults, I understand, they like TikTok. I mean, they use TikTok more than the learning management system. It's understandable. You are youth, you are young. You must be young. And when you're young, you must live like a young person. So, we don't want to change the school format. I know that in some schools, they don't allow students to bring cell phones. As it's disruptive. That tool that we want to use for learning is very disruptive. But help us to help you. If you want us to close TikTok, we'll do so. But we'll leave it for our young adults. They need it. University management, thank you for this initiative and making yourself available here. This table here, these are very, very expensive people in terms of time. For them to come and do this thing for the community, we need to applaud you for that. I was sitting with professors there. You know that table there, there's professors there. And they say, no, this is a good initiative. You know, if a professor says it's a good initiative, it's a good initiative. You must smile. So thank you all the academics that were here, students that are here, also for blessing us, the choir. We had a very nice melody. There's a word you used in the last song. I don't know what it meant, but it looks like it's a Shangani song that you say. It's a Shangani song. And it sounded very, very nice. It sounded romantic. So thank you for blessing us with the melody that we had. School principal and educators, if there are educators from schools, please. Thank you so much for being with us here. And we have the university community here as well that saw the importance of leaving whatever they were doing to come and bless this city. Thank you so much for that. We have our partners. I did talk about it. We've got the government stakeholders. And you are lucky you are the first one that we are going to work with on this project. And I think our VUT will be visiting you a lot to get good stories because we are marketing this for the nation, not only for VUT. This is the first time we're doing it here. It's going to roll out to the entire country if it goes well. We know that CSIR gave us a blessing. We know that BBI is also going to put a lot of investment into this whole project. And we are so happy to have good partners, heavyweights, that are seeing the need for this. Just to share with you, in the document that I read from Tatumuloko, that was last year, the problem is bigger than what we think. Right now we are privileged. Let me be honest. You've got a cell phone. You're privileged. We have 6.1 billion that is dedicated for rural connectivity. 6.1 billion from SA Connect. You know, I don't have a billion. I'm going to die without having a billion. But it's too many zeros to help the nation. You see, the government is committed into this thing, how serious it is. And this is one of those projects we want as higher education, because we've got skill here, to be able to roll them out. So I would like to say, to thank the government and the industry stakeholders. And I would also like to thank everyone who is here to spend time with us. It's a launch. The following year, I don't know, as we go to 61 years, I don't know, we're going to have something, the executive will decide. Then we will be talking at different, giving you a status report of where we are, how many schools we connected. There's a nice project that used to happen in Free State at a lower level than what we're trying to do here. You know that the province of Free State used to be around the 6, 7 in terms of maths and science. Right now are on the top 5 in the country when you look at matric results. We want to change Sidibeng to be there. Remember, Sidibeng is in Gauteng. We can't be beaten by people in Free State. Being in Gauteng, come on, you can't. It doesn't sound right. No, it doesn't sound right. Even if you look at cars in Bloemfontein, you could see that this car has done its job compared to cars in Gauteng. So we have a lot of resources here, so let's use them. In summary, I would like to say thank you all, and it's good to be here, and what can I say to conclude? Kacheni, Prof. Kacheni. I'm a baby, I don't know, maybe I'll try to see a bonga or for the initiative, Prof, and we're going to make sure that this doesn't fail, because it's for the community, it's not for us. We are just the vehicle to get this thing done. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, as and Tate Ramasodi said, Arenas Tagazelo, but I'll say thank you so much, Deza, so for a lovely vote of thanks. And right now it's time that we proceed to the main event, to the ribbon cutting ceremony symbolizing the official launch of the TV-wide space data sharing project. May I kindly request we proceed to the designated area outside where the tower is, and Prof to cut the ribbon there. And then we will come back in here because we've got refreshments and for officially closing and having the refreshments. Thank you.
So now we're gonna tumela to them. I don't even know Bible na kapabo.